Magic items, welcome back to How to RPG, and today it's all about explaining the process of making magic items. And of course, because this is a live stream, we actually make tools here as well, so we're going to actually make some stuff around magic items as well. So welcome to the live stream. I'm going to be putting up a poll. My suggestion is grab some food, some drink, turn on your brain, because I want to have you involved as well. I will do a presentation. This presentation is a little bit different to what I normally do, but also very similar. But there is a little bit of addition. We'll see how we do today. I am still still coping with the cold weather here in New Zealand and the changeable nature of things. But anyway, let's get started. Here we go. What's that? That's that. Okay. Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about role-playing games. How do you make incredible homebrew magic items? I know what you're thinking, like there must be a secret to it. In fact, the secret is very, very simple. The first thing is make it simple. You would think, well, why is it making it simple, making it an incredible magic item? Well, because one, it's easy to understand, it's easy to apply, it's easy for basically a game master, dungeon master to incorporate into the adventure. So make it simple, but more importantly, you want to have a magic item that players will actually use rather than forget about and leave on their character sheet. And another aspect to this is it needs to be a magic item that the game master is happy to allow into their game and retain no matter what. Like it doesn't matter as they play pardon me as they play their game, as they run their game, they find that they don't need to take it away. And as soon as you have a magic item that can fulfill those three aspects, you have an incredible magic item. So we just need the tools and the knowledge to get ourselves there. It seems simple, doesn't it? Like, why is it that hard to figure out? It's not. It's actually very simple. Anyway, this is Game Master Preparation. This is Lesson 5, Creating Magic Items for your game. And I run this program every 2 months, and we wrap around and do it all over again. So hopefully my voice will hold out while I go through what I have to say. So first off, when it comes to magic items and what we need to cover, the overview for today is like how to create your magic items, how to create balanced magic items, because that's always a question that people ask. Magic item inspiration, where do you get your inspiration from? The process of making a magic item, okay? And then miscellaneous recommendations, because I always like to give out some miscellaneous recommendations when I run this program, and so that's what we'll do. I will be explaining how to create homebrew magic items. I'll be demonstrating how to create homebrew magic items, although we'll be building some tools today rather than specifically magic items. So it's a bit broader. And I want you to practice. So I want you to be part of the live stream, interact with me, present your ideas, and let's just see what sticks. I mean, that's essentially what we want to do here. So how do you create magic items? Let's start there. First off, often the creation of homebrew magic items results in a string of problems for a game master or a dungeon master. So unfortunately, it is just part and parcel of making magic items. So players will generally want more power and more options from their magic items that they find in the game, and this of course will affect the game master's preparation process, particularly when developing challenges. Now, probably the challenges that you're going to contend with the most, that will create the greatest number of problems for magic items, is combat, because the other pillars of play really not too much of an issue to a certain degree. I mean, there's always something that can undermine the whole thing, but it depends. But combat tends to be the one that people struggle with most. Magic items can drive the role-playing game campaign if the dungeon master or game master makes the magic item a major feature. So it's what the whole campaign revolves around. It's the MacGuffin. It's the one ring. Start small. My advice to you is start small. Incorporate your homebrew magic items slowly. Do not release too many all at once. And this will reduce the number of issues that will occur. That won't eliminate your problems, it will only reduce the issues that you come across. So that's the first thing I would say when it comes to making your magic items. And this leads us on to the next topic, which is creating balanced magic items, because this is always a question that people ask. It's not practical to create a magic item that is balanced in a role-playing game. In the game of Dungeons & Dragons 5e, characters don't actually need magic items. The maths is built so that they can be still successful without a magic item. But something like Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 or version 4 or even Pathfinder 1st Ed Edition required and still require that characters have magic items. They can't keep up with the monsters in the game unless they have them. Now the power of magic items from greatest to lowest, this is sort of the scheme. These are the types of features and powers and abilities or effects that they might have, starting from the greatest and most powerful down to the lowest. The greatest one is always mobility, the ability to travel from one place to another very quickly. Teleportation is extremely powerful, gate, things like that. Something that grants an extra magical power. So this is like something you didn't have before, but it's now magical and it's extra on top of what you had before. The next one would be specific magical effects, say a wand that casts fireball or a magic missile. They're very specific and it gives you a magical effect. The next one would be martial combat. So this is +1, +2. These are magic weapons, magic armor, things like that. You'd think that'd be higher up the list, but it's not. But it still becomes a major factor, and I'll explain in a second. And then lastly are the miscellaneous utility magic items. They tend to sit right at the very bottom. Now, magic weapons and magic armor and combat-focused items or magic items will generally generate the most issues for a game master or dungeon master. Why? Because they often are made first by a game master. They're the first thing that people try to make. So it's not wise to start there as a starting point for a game master. As it happens, utility magic items are the best to create for a player character as they have the least effect on the game and they usually don't affect combat and counter design. So you don't have to worry about your combat and counter design because they often will have no effect on that aspect of the game. Although they can, but not always. Most of the time don't. Common magic items tend to be the least powerful or the lowest power level. And so what you want to do is you want to use that as your starting point. Don't make an artifact, make a common magic item and make it a utility magic item. These are really good starting points with your game. Now the power of a magic item can be adjusted over time, like anything, but it's much easier to start with a low scarcity, with low scarcity, and then move your way up to a very rare magic item. So start with something that is not too powerful, and then increase the power. It is much easier to start with something that is not very powerful and increase the power if you feel you need to throughout the game. Whereas if you start with a power level which is incredibly powerful and you need to tone it down because it creates problems for you and how you run your game, it's much harder to do that because players don't like you nerfing their magic items. They don't like to take the power away. So it's always better to start low and build it up rather than start high and drop it down. So where do you get your inspiration for your magic items? As it happens, there are plenty of places to get inspiration for magic items, and I would say my top number one pick is always going to be Harry Potter movies and books. They have great examples of really simple magic items that do all sorts of fun effects, and you'll find your players will use them. Give the right magic item to the right person, even with a small effect, they'll keep using them. Novels on fantasy, science fiction can also have magic items you can include. Historical magic items that have been told about in mythology and legend. Computer games, video games will have magic items you can duplicate. Common and simple magical effects from other role-playing games are a good source. I would say one of my favorites is Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Has examples of common utility magic items, and they've just got little odd effects. It's very, very clever. You can take artifacts, you can take antiques, heirlooms, trinkets that aren't magical and give them a small magical property. And I would recommend anything that has a trinkets table, like the Player's Handbook for 5e is great. It's great potential, that trinkets table. to take something that isn't magical and make it magical. You can also use older versions of Dungeons & Dragons magic items and port them over into your game if you wanted to. So there's a couple of different ways of getting your inspiration, and that's not the only list, of course. Right, the process of making a magic item, what does that look like? Some of the different aspects of that magic item. Give your magic item an interesting and obvious name to tell part of the story of the object or magic item. And this will also indicate the function of that magic item. So it's important when you give it a name, it will help indicate what its function is. It doesn't always have to work that way, but at least part of the story or its function. Create magical effects that have a benefit or a detrimental effect. They don't always have to be beneficial. Something like a special magical weapon ability. You can find lots of lists on these. If you have a look on the internet, you'll actually find a whole bunch of different ideas. And we're actually going to be building some more of these ourselves today. You can have minor and major beneficial properties. You can have minor and major detrimental properties. You can make a magic item that has just detrimental or negative effects. You can have minor properties and quirks. You can have a magic item that is mostly cursed or has both beneficial properties and detrimental properties. And often this is probably the best way. It helps balance things out. What is the history or intent of the magic item? Okay. If you're having trouble finding ideas for the history, you'll find that most Game Master books will have some information on how to do that. You can also Google it, it's pretty easy. Determine the power level of your magic item. So is it weak or is it extremely powerful? Is it like an artifact? Okay, is it like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings? Select the appropriate scarcity or rarity for the magic item to help define its power. So if it's very common, then it's going to be low powered, and if it's very rare, it's going to be very high powered. The bond required or the attunement for a magic item helps stop player characters stacking too many powerful items all together all at once. This is why you use magic bonding and magic attunement on a magic item. It's best to assign something like this to a magic item that has a permanent effect, where the magical effect does not run out. It just keeps going. So a good example would be magic armor, magic swords, things like that. Does the magic item have charges? So in other words, do you expend charges and will it have to recharge at some point? Is it a permanent effect? In other words, does it always operate? And you just can reuse this magic item as many times as you like. Or is it a single use item when once you've used it, such as a potion, you drink it and it's gone, it's done its dash. So something that has charges may have to be recharged. They might recharge on a time frame or a ticking clock, or have a trigger that charges them. They might have to be physically recharged by going to a magic shop. You might have to go to a special magical pool to recharge it. There's all sorts of different ways of doing this. Okay, so that's how you go about making the process of making a magic item. But like everything, I always like to give out some miscellaneous recommendations to people about like the process of making magic items, because it's one of those things where it's very easy to feel like you've made too many mistakes along the way. It's very easy to go down the rabbit hole and find yourself lost. First off, expect that you will make mistakes with magic item creation. It's just part and parcel of that whole process. It's fine to take an existing magic item and reskin the item and make it something else, so that you don't have to do quite so much work. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's no mathematical formula to magic item creation that will avoid players finding a way to exploit the item, because players are actually quite creative and they've got more brain power than you do because they're using more than one brain. If you've got 4 or 5 players, that's 4 or 5 brains compared to your one brain as the game master. So don't think they won't figure out how to exploit that magic item and use it in a way you weren't expecting. It's just going to happen. It's always happened in the past. It's never going to change in the future. You just have to be ready for it. Okay? It's as simple as that. And don't give yourself a rough time about the magic items that you make, because it's trial and error. It's like anything. Some things work well, some things don't. Now, I'm hoping that this program and presentation was useful to you, and if it was, fantastic. I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon every week so I can keep running this program. and we'll run back through this program again in about 2 months. I want to thank you for watching, and hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, all right. I've left the Bollywood musical for Thor up long enough, haven't I not? I just could not help myself. I had to do it. Let's have a look at what we've got here for today. So today it's all about. Now that I see it, dear, I could just see a few people cringing right now. Anyway, I'm going to grab my phone. We started a table, 100 magical properties, and we're actually very close to being finished, as it happens. So I'm going to go through the chat. I'm going to present this so I can show it to you so you can see what's going on with it. But I will grab my phone in a second. Let's go through the chat very quickly. And then we'll have a look at what makes an incredible magic item. It gets used by the players. So a lot of people have put down gets used by the players. Very important. Ultimate power is actually one of the least important aspects of making an incredible magic item. I know for players that's not what they're thinking. If you're a player, you're probably thinking, Fred, you're crazy. If you're a game master, simple. You allow it as a game master, and your players actually use it. Those three factors are really important. So yes, I would say there's only one wrong answer here, or one answer that's going to lead you down the garden path. Anyway, Shiner81, how's it going? Fred Hubber, pocket watch of the pockets of fishermen once a day, provides tackles for catching in the nearest fish. All right, so people are already writing stuff in here. JP, how's it going, JP? Happy birthday. Okay, so yes, it's my birthday today. I have turned 52. I am now 52 years old. JP, how the heck did you remember? Is it on Facebook? It's probably Facebook's told you it's my birthday today, right? Yeah, that'd be it. I bet. Boots of +1 pound weight carrying. They weigh 10 pounds. What's this? The ever full pot of scorched stew. Oh, really? Nutritious stew that tastes bad. Lovely. Our magic items in our campaign are never nerfed by the DM. They are cursed. Yes. So JP knows that I curse a lot of magic items. Yeah, if you get a magic item, it's probably cursed in a game that I run. If it's a homebrew magic item, if it's not a homebrew magic item, it's probably not cursed. I love cursed magic items. Yeah, game masters and dungeon masters like cursed magic items. Players don't really like cursed magic items. They're not very fond of that. That's why if you make a video on cursed magic items, YouTube and the audience will just, nobody watches them. Nobody's interested. They give an automatic plot hook on how to remove the curse. Well, yes, there is always a better story around a cursed magic item than a non-cursed magic item, for sure. I grew up watching Ron Propel kitchen gadget commercials. Yes, always looked wonderful. Never really any good. Always cost $9.95. Really? Is that what we're dealing with here? Every one of these magic items is in my game. All right. Okay. I believe you, Fred. I do. Random Ninja Attack. Hello. How are you? The tuning fork. Ornate silver trident shaped fork. Anything eaten using this fork becomes delicious tuna salad. Somebody 04. Will you be uploading a VOD of this? I'm a bit late. So live streams. So somebody 04. I do not hide my live streams anymore. So you can go back and rewatch the beginning of the live stream. As for will I be releasing an edited version of this, I'm not a full-time YouTuber, so I'm not able to do that. I do have an edited video of this. I have not released it, primarily because, how can I say this? The reason I didn't release it is because it's got stuff in there around Wizards of the Coast, and I do not want to release a video that winds up promoting their products. So I have I've really sort of backtracked on releasing those. Look, I have over 80 videos that have been edited, sitting, waiting to be released, that I will never get time to get to at this present time. Maybe if I'm on holiday, I would, to release, but they are laced with Wizards of the Coast stuff, and I'm reluctant to release them just because of that. So yeah, you can still watch the beginning of this live stream and see everything I talked about. Okay, Fred Hubber, the ultimate magic item for a mechanic, the wrench that always fits. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you can always scroll back to my live streams. Usually there's the presentation section. Since the live streams are about 2 hours long, I always give the bulk of my information right at the very beginning, and then we go into the workshop aspect of anything that we're doing here. Okay? How's it going, Derp? I like cursed items, but in 5e curses are too trivial. Yeah, they are. And they tend to disappear pretty quickly, don't they? I agree. They do. Now, let's get on with the process, because I was looking at this table, and much to my surprise, we have almost finished it. Much to my surprise, we have almost finished it. So, let's pull that up. Let's get rid of this. I think that's right. Yes, and there it is. And I need to magnify this. So this is going to require a little bit of work on our part to actually finish, but that's all right. That'll be fine. So let me just share this with you. This is 100 magic item properties. Now, I think probably the best way that I can deal with this is, actually I should probably write into the description, into the chat, some instructions on how we're going to do this. Because I did this last time, and people started giving me information on stuff that I wasn't going to include. So let me just type into the chat. I'll come back to that in a second. Hashtag magic item properties 100. We're going to do, now we actually have them. We just need, a lot of these magic item properties have already been stipulated. We just need to get tag names for a lot of this stuff. Okay, no, so no sort of weapon damage or to hit bonuses, and no, you can use a spell. So anything that requires us to sort of say something like, oh, this magic item does +1, +2, +3 to hit and damage. There's no point doing that. There's no point having that on a table, because you can do that without a table. It's not necessary at all. Okay, so forget about that. If it does, 1d6 or 2d6 fire damage or necrotic damage, again, complete waste of our time. What we want is we want the juice. We want the real stuff, right? So we're also not going to cheat. A cheaty way is to say, oh, this magic item allows you to cast teleport spell. No, we're going to just describe how teleportation works. We're not referring back to a spell. We're not going to be referring back to a specific system. So the whole table is supposed to be system agnostic. So that once it's finished, when I go through it at some point, it will of course go on to Patreon, but on top of that, the intention is that it get published in its final form once I've tidied it up a bit more, probably behind closed doors, and you can use it as a tool along with other tools. Okay, so what we want to do is not say, okay, you can use minor illusion spell, something that grants immunity to alcohol intoxication, stuff like that. Just hold on to that, because I'm going to show you the table. You'll understand we're actually really just refining stuff, because the table's mostly done. I will show you. Give me a second. Let me just skip back to the actual table itself, and then I'll grab my phone. This is the table right here. And if I scroll down, 100 magic item properties, and if I scroll down, as you can see, there's some sections in here that are missing that need to be added, but mostly it's there. See, I keep scrolling down, and now there's a whole bunch, 77. We have no tags for these abilities or features. But we do essentially have 100. I'm pretty sure we have 100 different things. I'm going to put it all into alphabetical order. We're going to tag name all of this stuff. So yes, that's the task for today. The job is almost done. Anyway. Let me grab my phone. Let me get comfortable. And so let's do that. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. No, no, no. We are live. No, don't give me sound. Oh, I need a lozenge. There we go. This will keep me. So this gives you an idea of where we're at, people. We're actually very close to completion. And thank you again, ET. Yes, it's my birthday. Okay, so this is what we have. These are things we need to actually label and name. So give me some tag names, people. You can, if you can see this clearly enough, you'll let me know. Hashtag need tag name. All right, so first one, wielder. So wearer, wielder always is always clean and well presented. Okay, so this basically is a cleaning one. So we just need a tag name for that one. The item makes a target encumbered. So it's a little odd, that one, I know. Can understand and be understood by the target, including cultural references and nuances, as if a native speaker. Okay, this is a little unusual. All right, so I'm not going to move these things around, people. I'm going to let you label them and I'll move them later. Caffeinated. What's caffeinated on? The user becomes exhausted, tired, or fatigued. And you want to call it caffeinated. I'm a little lost on that one. Why caffeinated? Now I'm curious. How did you come up with the word caffeinated as a solution? Caffeinated. What is caffeinated? Caffeine added. Isn't that the reverse? Caffeinated? Exhausted, tired, or fatigued. I don't think that's going to make much sense. I don't think that's going to. Is that really going to work? Of the dandy. What's of the dandy? Which number are we talking about for of the dandy? I don't even. How are we getting of the dandy? That's an interesting one on me. So next one. The item makes the target or target area frictionless. No, that's an interesting one. What are we going to call that one? The implement instantly cooks, boils, or fries food. Oh, the user never becomes... Oh, I see. Caffeinated. Now I understand. Ah. Oh, dear. There we go. I understand now. Caffeinated. So caffeinated has been tag named. Well done. Next one. Let me read out another one of these things. Magic item makes the target prone. Pretty basic sort of stuff here. Not too complicated. The item powers itself by adding a level of exhaustion to the user. So it's draining. Do we have one? Do we have a tag for draining? Decaffeinated. You reckon 89 should be called never becomes exhausted, tired. Decaffeinated. I don't think that's going to work. I think we'll go with caffeinated for now. Decaffeinated. Right, 84 is when placed in the vicinity of edible food, it slowly starts consuming rations. Right, well, that's an interesting one. I don't know what's going on there, but let's get rid of the hat. The hat's not helping me. 85. Anything intended to be left-handed becomes right-handed and vice versa. Well, that is weird. Tripping. Derp has said 82 should be tripping. Yeah, why not? Tripping. Tripping. There we go. Okay, got it. Well done. Tripping. Yeah, Fred. It took me. For whatever reason, Derp was on the right track, and I just could not quite get my head around it. Was 77. Oh, Dandy. Of the Dandy. How about we just go with Dandy? Is that too skewed? It has to be doing with clean. I don't think Dandy's quite the right way to go. I see what you're trying to go with that. Oh no, actually, maybe it is. Well presented. Clean and well presented. Dandy. Let's call it Dandy. There we go. Tag name Dandy. Well done. Sweet. 84. When placed in vicinity. Devouring. Yes. Absolutely. Devouring. Is 83 decaffeinated? Item powers itself by adding levels of exhaustion to the user. I don't think decaffeinated is the one. I think draining. I don't know if we've got a word that says draining, but I think draining is better. Drain. Do we have a D for draining? No, we don't. All right, so sorry about that, people. I'm going back to where you can see, so you can see stuff. So you can see we actually have a lot of stuff here. Yeah, I like Dandy too. I think you had you definitely had us on the right track there. So I'm going to keep reading out some of these. Anything intended to be left-handed becomes right-handed and vice versa. It's almost tempting to say ambidextrous, but ambidextrous doesn't really. Ambidextrous is not quite what that is. I don't know what you would call that. If the item is damaged, that will eventually repair itself or heal. You have about a minute of lag. It's all right, Fred. I understand. This is why once we've tagged everything, then I will move everything around, because otherwise you're going to get lost in terms of what number we're aiming for. I've been through this before. Dyslexic. 85 dyslexic. Maybe it is dyslexic. Dyslexic. Dyslexia is a term used to describe a range of persistent difficulties with reading and writing, often including spelling, numeracy, and musical notation. Yeah. I don't really think that. Signs of dyslexia. Confusion, spelling erratically. Oh, God. No, I think that's the wrong tag name for that one. I mean, I know one of the things they look for when you're talking about dyslexia is they look for, if you're right-handed or left-handed, or dyslexia is associated with people who use both the right and left hand equally, the same amount, and so they try to get you to use one hand primarily. Lysdexis? What is? Well, how's? Well, are you? You've got me a little bit lost on that one. Let me have a look. This is an old joke, is it? Lysdexic. Humorous. Lexia. Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, I don't think so. Let me keep reading through these, and if you come up with an idea for a name for the tag, then you let me know. So if the item is damaged, it will eventually repair itself or heal. Okay. We've got that one already tagged, so that's fine. Yarn, the item guides towards items, locations. Okay. Ever full, we've got that one. Caffeinated. Here we go. Oh, what have you written down here? Translating. Rejuvenating, 86. Yes, okay, rejuvenating. Let's do that one. Rejuvenating. Rejuvenating. Oh, okay. Rejuvenating. 79, you've said here. Translating. Can understand, be understood. Yeah, okay. Translating. Translating. Okay. I'm fine with that. That sounds good. Item yells out the name of what you're doing. What the hell is this? Rosetta Stone. Translating, understand, can be understood by the target, including cultural references and nuances. Yeah, let's go with translating. Rosetta Stone. Yes, yeah. So yes, we're just tagging these. So look, if you remember right, you guys were throwing ideas like 2 months ago when we did this. Or was it 2.5 months ago when we did this? You guys threw so many ideas at me so fast. I just tried to get them all down. It was very, very hard, but we have 100. We do have 100. We don't have to make up anything. We just need to tag name all this stuff, put it into alphabetical order, and we're done. So for those of you who are like, oh, cool, we get to make up some new stuff. Well, it's already been done. If you come up with something completely new that we've never had before, that would be great. But honestly, I think everybody's covered everything we needed. Unstoppable. So I will cycle down to the next section once we sort of work. What I'd say, yeah, we'll get past this. Frictionless. Unstoppable. The item that makes the target frictionless. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Good idea. Thank you, Fred. Unstoppable. We've got that one. Next thing. So, item yells out the same name of what you're doing. I don't understand what we've written here. I'm a little lost. Does anybody figure out what that's supposed to be referring to? I remember the last time I did this, I just had to copy and paste stuff in as fast as possible. Zipper or jointing apart. Now this is a weird one. Zipper of jointing apart. This is a magic item. This is not a feature. This is a big old question mark, that one. 81 of cooking. 81. What's 81? Let's just call it cooking. Done. Easy. 97. 97. What is 97? Arousing. What's 97? The user can make soft items hard on command. What? The user can make soft items hard on command. You've got it. The user can make hard items flexible on command. How did you come up with the word arousing? I've got to type this word in and see where you're going with this. Awaken, arouse. Define. Let's define that. No, that's not helping. Don't know what's going on there. Okay, so next one. That's fine. It's sentient. The item. Mr. Floppy. Flippinator. Flippinator? How does 97 Flippinator? Some of these abilities, properties are quite odd, aren't they? Okay, here we go. Lycanthropy. Give the lycanthropy abilities without the curse. No, we're going to keep the curse. The wearer gains the lycanthropy abilities with the curse. With the curse. There's no way you're going to get me to take something that has traditionally been a curse in mythology out of it so that it's even more powerful than it was before, so you don't have to have the curse. I know where this is coming from. I know that's I play more than I game master as it is, but I know where that's coming from. I see where you're going with that one. Whoever put that down, I know where they were going with that. Bragging. Is 90 bragging? Bragging. It's kind of odd. Item yourself. I don't know. Is bragging the way I want to label this? Is that really what it is? It's a hard one. Define bragging. Floppinator. I think we do have a solution to that, by the way. Bragging. Okay, excessively proud and boastful talk about one's achievements or possessions. Let's take this. We just made a sentient magic item. Bragging. And okay, so the item yells excessively proud and boastful statements. The item yells out. There we go. Now it's bragging. What do we got here? Flexible. The user can make hard items flexible on command. Floppy. We'll call it floppy as in floppy disk. That's what your when you put that word in there, I was thinking floppy disk. That's probably the way to go. So we've got to go floppy. We cannot write down the word stiffenator, so that's not going to happen. More bucks. What's more bucks? Oh, that's 98. The item makes coffee with the additives as required. What? How did we get to that sort of thing? The user can make... No. The item makes coffee with additives as required. What a strange feature. It's so weird. It's like Starbucks, but more bucks. Maybe we will have to replace some of these features here. If we're going to have a magic item with lycanthropy in there, I want it to have some detrimental things going on. Every time I've ever had a player wind up with lycanthropy, it's been beneficial, but it's caused all sorts of troubles and usually resulted in a TPK as they attack the party. Eventually, it takes a little while, but we get there eventually. Okay, gravimetric. Item increases, decreases the mass of what it's on. No. What of? Okay, item. The item. Item increases, decreases the mass of creatures and objects. Let's just do that. That's fine. How's it going, Jeeves? How are you? Welcome. Now. Intern. What is 98 intern? It's an intern. Yeah, I suppose that is an intern. I don't know how we managed to get that one there. I just wasn't paying attention. That'll be what it is. Intern. I'm putting a big, huge question mark beside it. Okay. The item makes coffee with additives as required. Because it's definitely one of those things that I would want to remove off the list completely. So if somebody wants to come up with a new tag name and a new magic item property to replace intern, I'm happy. Because intern, for me, is easily my first target for destruction. Okay? Is 98 another cooking item? Yeah, it does feel like it's another cooking item. It does feel like that, doesn't it? We've got cooking already as a feature. Something, magic item that cooks stuff. Like, come on. Next. Shit, we can just remove it now. Oh, come on. Did I do that wrong? Let's do this. Let's just delete it. Bam, we got 100. I think 97 should be arousing, but if this is the too confusing, maybe stiffening. Yeah. Well, at least it's not the stiffenator. Foaming, 100 foaming. Inebriating. Well, inebriating. Well, do we call it inebriating or just drunk? I mean, if it's going to make you drunk, intoxicated is probably better. We don't have word drunk there. So intoxicating, I think it's going to be better. Let's do that. Intoxicating. The magic item causes the user to become drunk. Done. Sweet. Now, where was he? The user can make soft items hard on command. The little blue pill. Stiffening. Okay. Next one. Number 99. The item creates bubbles in an area. Creates bubbles in an area? Yeah, the Starbucks clone has been eliminated from the list. We had 101. We now have 100. Okay. Okay. The little blue pill. I don't think so. For those of you who are wondering what that strange noise was, that's me. Okay. The user of the item has no shadow for a period of time. What? The user of the item has no shadow for a period of time. What do you call that? Creating bubbles? Okay, all right. Let's just scroll this way a little bit more because we have actually covered a lot of these. There's only a couple here to actually rename. I'm going to leave them for you guys to figure out while I rewrite some of this stuff here, which is a little bit whack. Hence your mind and intention from being read. Sentient. The item has a mind of its own. Okay, so let's see. The item, the magic item. We're dealing with Peter Pan. Oh, Peter Pan. I see. I don't think shadowless. I think we're just going to go shadowless. Shadowless. Whoopsies, that's not it. Is that a real word? Is there such a thing as shadowless? There is. Well, Google thinks there is. Okay. Now, back to the sentient thing. So the item creates bubbles in an area. I don't know what you're going to call that one. I guess we could just call it bubbles. I mean, we could just call that. The item creates bubbles in an area. Bubbles. Next, sentient. The magic item has a mind of its own and can communicate telepathically. And communicates telepathically with the user. No, let's just say communicates telepathically. Has its own agenda, It's a sentient magic item. I mean, a mind of its own agenda really is essentially the same thing. I think we've covered it. We know what this is supposed to be doing. So let's do this. Let's make that a thing. And we will have to, of course, scroll down and fill in some other little sections here, but we're doing pretty well. Let's just put here bubbles. There we go. The item, the magic item. Okay, so what have we not got done? We have the item makes a target encumbered. What would that be? I don't think so. Number 9 doesn't need to be that. No. The item makes a target encumbered, and the other one we still need to name is anything intended to be left-handed becomes right-handed and vice versa. What do you call it? 70. What's 78? Burden. Burden. Let's go burden. Burden's a good idea. Good one, Dirt. Nice. 85 is difficult. Honestly, 85 looks like a tricky one to actually tag. I'm really not too sure about that one. Oh, this is actually, somebody's written a magic item in here. I'm probably going to get rid of it. It's a small portable strip of fabric with a zipper that, when laid on the ground or an object, allows you to unzip the object into two parts. Zip. Zip. Let's do this. Zipper. Okay. The magic item creates a small portable strip of fabric with a zip. With a zipper. Let's do that. I think that's good enough. That's for zipping. Yeah, unzip a wall, unzip the section of ground. Yeah. You're refreshing your phone. Yeah, that's fine. You keep refreshing the phone. It's all good. Okay. Well, I might take a break, come back, and we will have a look at some of these other things that we haven't got. There's a few things here that don't actually have information on them. We have tag names, but no, we don't have the actual information. So silent, shout. I think we've got web here. That shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Weather control shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Resurrection shouldn't be too hard. Permanency. Oh, we have just a blank space here, so we do need to have another one to add in here. Life drinker, so that's for sucking out life. Healing, grease or glue. Forever sharp. I think we know what that's going to probably read like. Displacement, dimensional space, color change, charm, and black flame. Yeah, okay. All right. So I think I take a break, come back, and we'll fill in the rest of those little bits and pieces. So I'll put into the chat right now. Okay. You reckon mirrored for 85? Was 85 going to be mirrored? Okay, hashtag. Think of one new magic item property with a tag name. So I'm going to let you guys work on that. Grease or glue could be split. That's true, actually. Very good point. Grease or glue could be split. You're absolutely right there. I would agree. Grease and glue can be. Let's go with this. Let's go cut. And paste. I totally agree. So we're done. I just need to put in some descriptions for these now. Sweet. Smart. 85. What is going on with 85? Is it 85? You had said mirrored. No, 85 is devouring. I think devouring's the right way to go with that one. Anyway, I'm going to go take a quick break, come back, and then we'll go from there. Oh, normally I would put up this one. This is usually my break scene. But because I am a naughty person, and it's my birthday, instead I'm going to put this up. Enjoy it for 5 minutes or less, and I'll be back. Oh, the new effect, confusing. All right, I'm coming back, and I'll have a look what you've got here. Man, so I managed to get away with putting that meme up there, and nobody ran away. Amazing. I am so lucky, eh? Oh dear. All right, sorry. Oh, mirror. I see. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I understand that now, Fred. That actually makes... Now I'm starting to see. Flip, swap left to right is mirror. It's, okay, all right, let's go back to that feature. I think it needs to have another word as part of the tag. Actually, do you know, swap. It just has to be swap. We just call it swap. As long as we don't have swap already. Swap appearance, but we have swap. Let's just call it swap. Or do we want to go mirror? Swap. Mirror hand. Move when you split crease so that... Oh, mirrored. I see. Okay. I think mirrored. Let's just call it swap. I think we're going to call it swap. When you typed in the word swap, mirrored, swap sides. Swap sides. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, all right. So we've got these, and oh, okay. So we have 101. So we might actually have to remove something along the way, because we actually have too many now. Well, that's a surprise. There might be a few things in here that are duplicated already anyway, so that's fine. All right, let's start at the very beginning and work our way through the things that need to be there. Black flame. Do we need to have black flame? I don't know how much black flame is going to do for us. So I'm inclined, let's just take black flame out. We can take that out at the end, and we'll do charm. I'm just going to have some water. And if anybody has some bright ideas on how best to describe what some of these things, you let me know. But there's a couple of them here to be done, which is great. It means we'll get through it fairly quickly. Okay, charm. The welder, the wearer can do what? Confusion. Yeah. If we still need another one, confusion's not a bad idea. Color change. Let me just mark that down, Fred, so I don't forget, because confusion's not a bad idea. I think the only reason I probably left it off is because I figure most people are going to use confusion the spell, and I didn't really want to go into spells. So we're going to get rid of black flame. Age accelerating. Burrow, camouflage, the wearer, and charm. charm, or what's the best way to say this? Oh, that's right. There's a blank on 35, isn't there? You're right. Blank on 35. I'd forgotten about that. Very, very good. Okay. The wearer can charm or what's the word? Enchant another creature to follow their directions. There we go, we've got enchant. Now, before I go too far, you had said I had a missing one on 35, so we're going to take 35 out and we're going to add in confusion. Confusion, right here. Confusion. And the wearer becomes what's another word for confusion? Okay, uncertainty about what has happened. State of where it becomes bewildered and unsure of themselves. Okay. There we go. Got it. Card change. The item alters. Enchant. Yep, I got it. Thanks, Fred. The item allows the color. Copy. Okay, the item allows the pigmentation of a creature or an object to be altered. I think I got that. Indecisive, yes, that's probably a better way to go about it. Confusion, bewildered, sure. Oh, so we're not putting it on the wheel. So this is actually probably about, yeah, okay, the target becomes bewildered. And this doesn't look right. Indecisive of themselves. Okay, all right. Cool. Done. That's down. Next, moving on, we're going to have a dimensional space. What are we going to do here? We're going to go the item creates a dimensional area Yeah, it's all right, Fred. It's all cool. My brain don't work that fast anyway, or my typing skills. The item creates a dimensional area or region. Okay, that's dimensional space. Right, we got that. Cool. Next, displacement. Displacement. Let's define displacement for ourselves. Let's get a copy up here. Paste. Displacement. Okay. The action of moving something from its place of position. The occupation of a submerged body or... Okay. Okay. Right, so what we want to do is... It's not teleport, because I think we have teleport already. Teleportation. So displacement needs to be something else. The item slightly alters the position How's it going, Global Product and Gaming Review? How are you? Can a villain pick up a blessed item, influence the discussions, the forces in a good alignment? The question doesn't make any sense. Can a villain pick up a blessed item that influences their decisions and forces them to a god or good alignment? What are you talking about? I don't understand the question. I know for you it's like it's not a question that it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't make any sense because like what is this reference to? I mean, I know it's not. Is it related to what we're doing here? If it's not related to what we're doing here, that's fine. But I still don't understand the context of what we're talking about there at all. I have no idea. Where did this? Why are you asking me this question? Is it because you're a player and you've used an item and you're trying to change the alignment of a villain, or are you a game master trying to decide how to make a decision around something like this? Like, what's going on? Because quite often this question feels like somebody in a group who's having a beef with their game master or their players, and I don't want to be a part of that. That's why I don't do videos that say, anyway, so you need to be a bit clearer about what's going on here, please. I'm referring to the opposition of a cursed item. The opposition of a cursed item. Well, I mean, look, if there's a cursed item out there, you tell me. Like, ultimately, the game master's going to make the final decision. Are you the game master in this situation? If you are, are you the game master in this situation, Global Product, or are you a person playing in somebody else's game that they're running? You tell me where you're coming from with this, because I will not be used as ammunition against another game master or dungeon master and their decisions in their game. So you need to tell me which party you are before I go anywhere near that question, because I could tell almost immediately there's something up. Okay. The game master. Okay, so here we go. Global Product and Gaming. Here's the thing. You have to decide, does your villain, if it interacts with something that changes alignment, will you allow that? Because there is such a thing as having a villain that cannot be corrupted in that way. There's no way that you can change their alignment. You can build an NPC or a villain that cannot be changed in terms of their alignment. If that's what you want to do, if you are open to the possibility of the players using a item that could change their alignment, then do that. But ultimately, it's your decision. It's not my decision. How I would do it. I mean, who cares how I do it or somebody else does it? It doesn't matter how I would do it or Fred would do it or anybody else. It only matters what you think should work there. That's the only thing that's important. So yes, I'm glad to see that it's not a question related from one of your players, because that would have been an issue. So yes, you decide ultimately how that's going to work. I don't know if that helps you, but it's a fantasy game. Anything can happen, and it can work any way you like. Okay. Right. Yeah, so Fred does bring up an interesting point that, look, I have used items that change alignment, and you've got to be very careful, because I've always found that it does upset players when it's not even the person who is using the magic item that changes their alignment. Sometimes it can be a different player who didn't like the fact that somebody else's player's character's alignment changed because they picked up this magic item. Even though I've put it in the game. So it really depends on your group, just in terms of how successful something like that is going to work in your game. So yeah, use alignment changing magic items with caution. That would be my advice. And Fred makes exactly that point. Is there forced alignment change magic items are just a bit too, they are kind of undermine too many things. They undermine the group, but they also undermine a lot of other aspects of the game. You'll probably have more success with a magic item that turns that's cursed, that turns whoever is holding it or using it or has it into an ogre. You'd have far more success with that than you will with alignment changing stuff. Okay. Anyway. Okay. It sounds like you've got yourself a little bit of a pickle to deal with. Anyway, so displacement. The item slightly alters the position or location of a creature or object. Okay. Next, Forever Sharp. So we're going to go here, the magic items blade or point remains sharp indefinitely. Okay, I think that's got it. Also curious about what that means. I never noticed the options. Okay, all right. So there's a new options in live chat. I suppose have we still got plenty of time to get this all done? Maybe not. I'm kind of gotten distracted anyway, but let's go over some of the changes and so I'll demonstrate it. So YouTube has been, I've been asking for stuff like this forever. So anyway, let's demonstrate this now. Let's go and play. So there are a few things on YouTube. For me, at the bottom, you'll notice that there is a reaction. It's like it looks like a little smiley face. There's like 3 little buttons. There's the super chat. There's a plus thing. These are tools that I use. Okay, and you can hit the reaction. It gives you a whole lot of emojis that you can use, stuff like that. So I can pick out whatever I want. My channel doesn't have any. Okay, so I don't use them, but you can if you want. And you press that button, and voila, you've got an emoji. Okay. So that's that feature. Super chat, some of you will know what that is. There's a super chat and super sticker option. I can put up a poll, which I've got running right now. I can put up a Q&A, so I can start a question and then use that question to drive the audience. Now, let's go. No, that's not it. That's not it. Show chat. Okay, cool. And at the top, at the very top, it says top of the chat, and there's 3 dots. And 3 dots allow me to do a couple of things. One, community moderation. So I can have the entire community moderate everything. Okay. There's participants. I can actually press this, and I can find out how many participants are actually taking part in the chat. It lists Derp, FHubber, and Global Product and Gaming Review, and myself. We've been using the chat, so that's there. Let's see if I can refresh this. Okay, next. If we go to those 3 dots at the top, there's another one. Toggle moderator activity. Pop out chat, timestamps, send feedback. Oh, the option that I had, there's supposed to be another option here, and it's gone. They just advertised it. I'm supposed to be able to pin somebody's comment at the top, which it won't let me do right now for some reason. It's in this poll. Okay, so if I end the poll, it should hopefully come back. Toggle, pop out, timestamp, send feedback. No, it's not doing it. Okay, there's supposed to be an option where I can actually highlight somebody's comment in chat, and it's gone. Darn it. So your controls are a little bit different to mine. Anyway, let's go back to what we were trying to do, which is get this done before we run out of time. Sweet. There we go. What about it? Do you have a problem with me asking a question as per the point of taking part in the chat? Is this the Twilight Zone I'm trying to... No. It was not clear when you asked me the question. And if I'm doing something else, it's a little bit hard for me to switch. So it's not an issue, but it threw me a little bit because I'm trying to fill in these gaps. Glue. So displacement I've done. Glue. We'll do glue. Okay. An adhesive substance used for sticking objects or materials together. Okay, so let's do that. Format. The item. Generates, or creates. An adhesive substance used for sticking objects together. Okay, there we go. That's fine. We've got that one done. Next, grease. The item. Now grease. Let's get grease done. So, 'cause, 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 ' The item creates a lubricant. That that is slippery. Invisibility, is it? So that's number 27, 28. Minor. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. I agree. We should probably ditch it. The item allows the wielder to heal creatures. That's that one. Illusion. Right. Magical illusion. The item creates a magical illusion. Next. Now, if I take that away, we're going to need to add in something else. Permanency, I kind of know what permanency is, so that's fine. Yeah, so if I take it away, we will need a replacement feature to go in there. Which I have no issue with, you know, that's yeah. Grease the automate, create a lubricant or makes something slippery. There we go. Next. Makes a magical either sound, visual, or smell. Okay. The wearer becomes invisible until they attack or cast a spell. That's what we want to do. Let's do this one. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to go just image. So illusion, we've gone with illusion does a few different things. We've gone with sound, visual, or smell. So we'll do both. Jokes. So I'm pumping these ideas in as quickly as I can. So if I don't spot your comments in the chat, just bear with me. I'll get to it. Lie detection always knows when someone is lying when within hearing range. Let's get rid of this. I don't think that needs to be there. And then we'll go life drinker. The magic item drains life force from a creature. Okay, life drinker, we've got that. Light, we've got that. Limb replacement, we've got that one. Metamorphosis, mood changing, quick. The magic item. User moves faster. Very, very simple. Permanency. Now, permanency is okay. Magic item makes a spell permanent. Makes a spell effect permanent on an object. Having permanency on a creature is always a bad idea, people. Yeah, but on object, not quite so bad. Resurrection. The magic item brings a creature back to life. Uh, 30. You reckon it should be changed to that? Let's have a look. Uh, 30. Like 30. Drains. Absorbs life force from a creature. A targeted creature. There we go. It's done. Next. Protection from mind control. Protection from mind control? Protection. No, mind protection. Let's go mind protection. I'm going to have to place it somewhere else, though. Stops. 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 We're affected. Okay, the magic item stops the wearer being affected by yes, Mind Shield. Oh, hi Shiner 81. Mind Shield? Okay. Mind Protection, Mind Shield. Okay, yeah, okay. Magic item stops the wearer being affected. Being from the wearer from the wearer. The Geesh. 36 permanency. Strong effect. Makes some other magical effect continue until dispelled or removed at the level of course. Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm just gonna leave it pretty blank and I'll let them figure things out the hard way. Magic items. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. Sheesh. Took a little while, but we got there. All right, that's fine. Mind has to be shifted, though. It's not in the right place now, so we'll go cut. M, mind. M, mind, right here. It's good. Shout, rust. I'd forgotten about that. Shout. The edit. The wearer can increase the volume of spoken sounds or language. I think that's roughly what we're doing there. Silence. Okay. The item eliminates all audible sound waves in a region. Okay, done that. Soul absorb. The magic item. Stores a soul inside it. Okay, I think that's fine. We've got that one there. Let's just have a look, make sure I got this down. Next, there's under teleport transformation. We don't have polymorph, do we? Because we're avoiding spells, so I'm pretty sure polymorph doesn't exist because we've got transform. No, polymorph, the creature changes into a different creature or animal. Transform. The item allows the wielder to change an object's form and substance. Change an object's form and substance. Okay, got it. Next, web. I know, weather control. Amplifies the voice of the user like... Yeah, amplifies. Shout. can amplify the volume of spoken words or languages. Okay, that's fine. That is it. There we got that one down, and back to where I was. Weather control. The I can alter the weather patterns or create storms. Okay, I think that's what we wanted to do with this. All right, we're getting there. Okay, web. There's a lot of stuff to be repositioned. I wonder, do we still have 100? We're short by one. I need one more special property, and that's 100. Okay. So we had to remove a few because they were kind of repeats. So if somebody's got any ideas for another one, let me know. Web, the item creates spider webs in a specific area. Okay, so hang on. Shoots. The item sprays spider webs in a specific area. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Dandy is D. Cut. D for dandy. D. What's this? D for dandy. Dan. There we go. Put dandy there. Sweet. Good. One more feature required, people, and it's done. And I just got to put everything to alphabetical order. Cut, burden. B, burden. Burden. I think it's going to be there. Burden. And there's a lot of zipping back and forth, I realize. Translating. It starts with translate. Cut. T for translate. Translate. It should be about there. And unstoppable. Cut. UV, isn't it? Unstoppable. Okay. Cooking. I'm gonna run out of time. I can see it again. Cooking. Cook. No, cold, cook, confused, cook. I think it's about there. Cooking. Okay. Warp forms interwoven silky strands to entrap or block. Oh, that's web. I've done web. I need a completely new feature. One more. I'm short by just one. I'm just right now. All I'm doing is chucking everything into order. Copy. Cut. Tripping. You'll do that. Right there. Paste. Good. Draining. Cut. That's D for drain. drain right here. Delete 77. Why delete 77? I can't remember what 77 was. Oh, here we go. Warns if a specific type of creature is nearby. Well, yeah, I don't know. Do we need to actually do that? We just don't have a tag name for it. I don't have a problem with it. If anything, it just needs to have a tag name. Let's call it alert. Alarm. Let's call it alarm. Warns if a specific type of creature is nearby. So let's take that one and go cut. And we'll put that in A. Alarm. Alarm. Right here. Paste. Alright, what do you got here? Yep. Mist form. The item allows the user to flow like mist. Like gas or mist. I think that's a good idea. Mist form. Yeah. Let's do that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Mist. It's going to go live about there. And I'm going to just pull it straight out of this. Not even going to be gentle about it. I'm just going to go rip it right out of it, cut and paste it. Mist form. The magic item allows the user to flow like gas or mist. Okay, that's good. Pardon me. Next, wool. Wool, water, breathe. That one's got to go. Zeal, web. Devouring. I'm out of time. Darn it. I'll get it done on a Friday, hopefully. Cut. Devouring. Devour. Devour. Yes, here we go. Okay, so it's just, I've got a few more things I need to put in the right order, but there is 100 here now, and it all looks to me to be complete. And once I've rearranged everything, we should be done, which is wonderful. No, it's all good. It's all good. I think I got it covered. I will have to go because I'm out of time. Which is unfortunate, but I think that most of the hard work is done. It's just a lot of just repositioning, which I can kind of do off camera, or I can do Friday in Discord. I think that's probably the best way to go. In any case, I've got to get moving, and I don't know if I'm back. I might be back tomorrow to cover the Abyssal Elf, which is Monster Lore, or I might have to work tomorrow and do some training, which means I won't be able to live stream tomorrow. But I'll let you guys know in the community tab, and I'll post a live stream if I'm going to live stream tomorrow. And if I'm not going to live stream tomorrow, you'll get a community tab message, okay, to let you know what's going on. So, but the rest of the other programming, character building, game mechanics, and a review of Plane Shift Equestria, they're all going to happen this week. So that's not going to stop me doing that stuff at all. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you to Derp, Shiner81, Fred Hubber, who's been very, very helpful. I do appreciate all of that assistance, because it did help finish everything off. Otherwise, I might have struggled. E.T. Base, thank you too for being here and assisting. I do appreciate it. So thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this every week. Thank you to everybody who took part in the poll today. A really big thank you to those who are just rewatching or just watching, okay? Ultimately, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Shiner, I will try to have a happy birthday.